How you doing, guys? We're back for another review. This time around, we're doing a little bit of Scotch from Islay, the Islay region. And this time it is Bowmore 15 Darkest, sherry cask finished. So we have Bowmore, which is the oldest distillery in Islay. 1779, I believe it is. Yeah. Let's see what it says here. I've done Bowmore 12 in the past. That's back before I was giving letter grades to my whiskey reviews. I gave it a recommendation back in the day. It's not the best Islay you're going to find. In fact, it's pretty much the little, sort of like the little brother of the other Islas out there, which is kind of weird considering this is the oldest one. You think this would be a bit more prestigious, perhaps a bit more reflective of the character of the malts there, but it's actually generally their lineup is lighter on peat, easier to drink, more malt forward. It's generally a little bit sweeter. You know, it doesn't have as much of that peat and that medicinal and that sea salt character that you generally get from most other Islas. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, you don't have to be that way to be an Islay whiskey, I don't think. I don't think there's any written rule that says that. But, you know, I mean, saying that, I still prefer the bigger peated ones with the medicinal character and stuff. I really love that stuff. The real bracing, biting scotches. But I had some extra money, and I was looking for a whiskey to buy, and this was the one that had the promise of at least having a little bit of peat to it. So let's see what it says here. Produced the same way today as it has always been, Bowmore is one of the ever-decreasing handful of distilleries to produce its own floor malted barley, and the only one with a maturation warehouse below sea level. What really sets Bowmore 15-year-old apart and gives it its darkest distinction is the time spent maturing in specially selected North American bourbon barrels, and then the finest Oloroso sherry casks. I don't know how long it stays in the sherry casks. I'm assuming not quite as long as they'd want you to think, because unfortunately, and I'll show you the bottle here. So that looks pretty dark, right? So 15 years, however much time in the actual sherry casks, you might be led to believe, yeah, it could get that dark. But from what I understand, and I've checked several sources on this, if I'm incorrect, someone please correct me, but this is not only not chill filtered, it's not cask strength, or I mean it is chill filtered and not cask strength, 43% alcohol by volume, so 86 proof. It is caramel colored. Apparently it is caramel colored, which is very depressing. I don't know why they do that. I really don't. I mean, I do know why they do that. I mean, it's to keep a consistency of color through every expression, every batch. But I hate it when they do that shit. It's for commercial reasons only that they do that. Let's see what it says here. That's giving tasting notes and stuff. I don't need to know that. So sherry cask finished, darkest. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we got the depressing shit out of the way first, so we can get right into the review. So we know where we sit when I'm going into this. Okay. I have already had it poured, and I've had it sitting now for 15 minutes or so. So it's had a good enough time to breathe. First thing you notice, it is very dark amber, so it does look like there's a bit of caramel dickering going on there. Like there's a bit of a reddish hue to it. Some of that is definitely from the sherry casks, no doubt. They'll tend to give that sort of color, and it is aged 15 years, so you expect a little bit of darkness in the actual whiskey, but they say they caramel. From what I've read, they caramel color it, so that really sucks. It really does suck. I'd rather see the natural color, honestly. I mean, does it really matter if this is like a shade or two lesser than what it is in the final product when they put the caramel coloring in? First thing you notice, moving around the glass, the legs are very viscous. Like, it's syrup. Like, very syrupy. One of the syrupiest I've seen. Very, very big beads coming down. Big streams on the legs. Very thick. So we'll go right to the nose. Okay, the thing you'll notice about this right away, I think, at least what I notice, is the sherry character definitely does dominate the aroma, like, a lot. It is an Isla. It does have a somewhat peated malt character to it, and you will get a little bit of that in the smell. There's a little bit of smoky malt character in there, but for the most part, you're getting this sweeter sherry aroma. You're getting sort of like grapes, raisins, burnt sugar, caramel. And that's about it. Bourbon character, no, not really. The bourbon barrel aging, you're getting a bit of the wood, and that's about it. And it's hard to really pull it out of the actual nose when you've got like the little bit of peatiness and stuff coming up as well, all mixes together. Any fruity notes from the bourbon, you're probably not going to really pick those out specifically either, because the sherry cask just basically dominates most of the smell. So it's like you're smelling this nice raisiny, burnt sugar, caramel kind of thing, and then it moves into this sort of smoky undertone with a little bit of woodiness. And it smells really good. Like, don't get me wrong. It sounds like I'm being really down on this whiskey right to start with, but I'm not. I'm just saying, if you're going into this thinking you're going to smell a typical Isla whiskey, you're not going to, okay? But it smells good. Smells like a really, to me, smells like a really beefed up version of one of my favorite budget whiskeys, which would be White and Mackay. It smells like a really beefed up version of that. Like, they say White Mackay is supposed to have this peated note. I don't find that to be the case at all. This is like White Mackay with better quality grain in it. Well, actually no grain at all, just pure malt, right? So there's no grain. The graininess is gone. So it's like White and Mackay if it was pure malt and with a little bit of peaty smoke in it. I think is a good comparison. You may disagree. So we'll go right to the taste now. Cheers. First thing you'll know is the mouthfeel on this is quite viscous. It's thick. One of the thicker whiskeys. Very warming going down, despite it only being 86 proof. It's more warming than some cask strength ones I've had. But although you don't really get a lot of the alcohol in the actual taste, starting off the taste is translates very much from the smell. Honestly, you're getting again sort of a grape raisin kind of notes on the actual taste. Moves over again to a slight peaty finish, slight bit of wood. So it's kind of smoky. Drink's very smooth. It really does. Like, despite me saying it feels warming going down, again, you don't really get the alcohol in the taste too much, so it's a very smooth drinker. Slightest medicinal note I'm sort of getting off there. But the Isla character is very dumbed down. It's very much the sherry casks that dominate this thing. But it's very good. It's very different. The price I paid for this was somewhere in the 70s, $70 something Canadian. Too expensive for the quality here. Don't get me wrong, it's a good quality whiskey. It's very nice. But I can get Lagavulin. I can get, or not Lagavulin, Lafroig. I can get Ardbeg, a couple of the different Ardbegs, somewhere in the same price range or slightly higher, and all of those are better quality than this overall for me. They're more complex, they got more going on, they got more punch, which is what I'm looking for. If you're not looking for that, then that really doesn't mean shit to you, does it? You might really like this, and you might like the price you paid for it, but it's fine. It's a really nice, well put together whiskey. I wish they didn't dick around with caramel coloring. If anything, why not just dump it in the sherry cask for longer? I don't know how long they do it, but it is, the nice thing about it is it's a 15-year-old, and it does have the smoothness and the drinkability of a nice 15-year-old. So it's got that going for it. It's well put together, easy to drink. Again, I said. And so I'm going to stop repeating myself here now and give my grade. I'm going to go B+. I would have given if I was to give a letter grade now to the Bowmore 12, I probably would go B-. I think I would. So this is definitely a step up from the Bowmore 12. It's a very good quality whiskey. It doesn't really touch the other Islas for me, honestly, but that's just personal preference. So you might rate this higher. I was going to add water to this, but honestly, you don't need water. It's not going to really open it up all that much, I don't think. No, I mean it's not especially complex. I did try a little bit of water in it the first time I drank it, and I thought I was getting something different, but I really, now that I'm drinking on it again, I don't think I was, honestly, so I'm not even going to really bother. But feel free to experiment. It's worth getting, so try it out. Alright guys, we'll see you later, bye-bye.